Hi, my name's Robert. I come to you as an automobile enthusiast that have maintained, serviced, and repaired my own vehicles in excess of 30 years. I've had a car that lasts over 400,000 miles. The current car that I'm driving has over 220,000 miles on it. It's a 95 model. So I hope you can benefit from the information I share. Thanks for tuning in. Hey, I'm about to do a quick oil change on a BMW 2001 325 CI or CSI, one or the other. I don't think it's a detective car, but it is a high-performance six-cylinder motor in a small car. It does require, from the owner's manual, my understanding is full synthetic oil. So if you don't want to use full synthetic oil, buy a different kind of car. You just don't want these cars' motors getting clogged up because of the high temperature and high pressure inside the motor. I always use OEM filters because I just think they're safer and better and designed for the car specifically. So I don't do aftermarket stuff. So let's get going. Here's the tools and equipment you should need. That's an OEM filter from BMW. You got a 17mm ratchet wrench. To get the oil filter housing on, it's a 36mm. You could use a socket or you could use an adjustable jaw wrench. I have the oil filter from the dealer, so it comes with a little gasket kit. It has the oil pan nut gasket, and it's got the oil filter housing gasket. And this car seemed to be leaking a little bit from the oil pan bolt, so I bought a new bolt for it. Got a pair of gloves, got an oil pan to catch the oil, things for me to lay on, and then I just pull the car up on jack stands. It's just quicker. First thing I normally do is open the oil cap. So go ahead and open that. Alright, before you drain the oil, it's always best to check the oil level because you want to know if the car is either burning oil or losing oil so that you can let the owner know, or you could know. And if it's low, more than a quart, you want to check it every 500 miles until you determine how much oil it's losing, because you don't like to run cars low on oil. So here's the oil dipstick. They're in there pretty good. Pull the oil dipstick up, wipe it off, and take the measurement. So when you look at the dipstick, you see it's got those notches in there. The first notch is full. The second notch close to the point is 1 quart low. So this car is about a half a quart low on oil, which isn't bad. Okay, when you go look under the car, it normally has a splash pan. Pull however many bolts necessary to pull the splash pan, probably 10, 12, I don't know. But as you look back after the splash pan is removed, you'll see an opening on the subframe. And just inside that opening is the oil pan bolt pointing toward the passenger side. I believe it's 17mm. Go ahead and pull that bolt and drain the oil into the drain pan. Got the oil draining out the bottom, so I'm going to go ahead and open the oil filter housing with this 36mm. Shouldn't be too tight, so let me go ahead and open that up. Okay, I got the housing all the way loose, so you want to go ahead and pull the top off, and the oil filter coming off with it. This oil filter appears to be a little bit crushed, so I don't know if it's an OEM filter or not, but it shouldn't be crushed. So let me go ahead and pull that off, and there's an orange gasket there, which I have a new one. When I set the new filter in there, I'm going to go ahead and put that new gasket on that cap. Alright, here's the oil filter bolt. The one on the left is new, the one on the right is old. As you can see, the threads on the one on the right are kind of flattened out, which is not good. And I put the new crush washer on the one on the left. So when I torque it down on the oil pan, it should form a seal, and that should be about 18 foot-pounds. So I'm going to go ahead and install that bolt now and get ready to fill the oil back up. Alright, here's the oil filter cartridge slid into the housing. It just slides over there and fits snug. That was the old filter. That was not OEM. So hopefully we won't have any crushing issues with the BMW filter. So there's your two.
Kids either.
Okay, when I put the oil filter housing and cartridge back into the receptacle, I pushed it down and I heard a little click. So you want to click that in place before you start to thread it. And you want to be careful because the housing is plastic and it's screwing in the metal. You don't want to strip the housing cap. So go ahead and tighten that down, not too tight. You know, just do one hand tight so you don't damage the housing. Alright, when I got the housing screwed down, it just almost immediately stopped. There's no reason to tighten that thing down with any force. It's got a rubber seal in there, so I'm done with that. Now I'm going to pour the oil in there, and it takes just about 7 quarts. So I'm going to get a funnel and pour the oil in the motor. Okay, I got the oil topped up, the oil cap's on, the bolt under it's tight, the oil filter housing is tight, the oil dipstick is back in. Now I'm going to start the car, let it idle 4 or 5 minutes, and then I'm going to check the oil level. Okay, I started and ran the car for about 5 minutes. I pulled the dipstick out, and it's right at the full mark. As you can see, I just normally use chamois for cloths because chamois are so absorbent, and I'm rich, so I just use chamois as oil rags. But if you got any questions, go ahead and post them there. And I looked on this dipstick, and if you look real close where this dipstick connects right here, there's some cracks in it. So I'll get a new dipstick and replace it because you don't want nothing falling off into the oil pan. If you feel that this information was beneficial, please like it and share it with your social media friends. Go ahead and subscribe to my page so you will get notification of future videos that I post. You can feel free to visit my website, robertspinner.com, post questions, and thanks again for watching.